It looks like we're going to have the pleasure of watching our next match of Josh and Bridget versus Allison and KyleW. So we've been able to see both these teams play a little bit. And with Allison and Kyle undefeated, they look like they might be the favorites. But Bridget and Josh have skills as well, and we'll see what they can put on the court today in this matchup.
I think this is going to be a really tight match. I see Kyle has a little different way of playing than Jaron, and I'm really looking forward to see how that matches up. And Melissa and I don't know. I think this is going to be a really great match.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
It's hard to believe that this is Melissa and Jaron's first match together. I think they played really well.
Yeah, no, I hadn't seen them play before, and yeah, they look like they had been playing for quite a while together.
Yeah,
so
they're really meshing out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Sophie did our interview here with Allison and Kyle, but I know, I guess, the newly married, whatnot, but their pickleball games together, Allison is just rock solid and a joy to watch. So
yeah, she just doesn't get rattled.
No, not at all.
They're just powering the ball at her, and she looks like she's just loving it.
Yeah, there's nothing that's phasing her, and yeah, I to be honest, I'd rather see the ball a lot too. So it's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's very difficult if you're the player on the court who's not seeing the ball. It's really hard to stay in the game and stay focused.
What's interesting too is that Kyle, you can see Kyle's trust, absolutely, right? So, and this is not a dig on, the match we just watched with Jaron and whatnot, but he can take more of the court a little longer than Kyle. Skill-wise, probably no different in terms of, when the paddle's in their wheelhouse, but the difference in having Allison take that and not creep into her zone to allow him to be ready for counters is just a different way of playing mix, which works for both of them.
Yes. Well, I really think when she's able to really set him up and he is free to take 100% of the shot, it's just great teamwork.
Wonderful.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't as familiar with pickleball, that net serve is a good serve in pickleball. We play that serve.
Steep cut angle there. Like the idea, just a little wide on the execution. We're at 1-1-1.
Tough net ball.
Yeah. Kyle's the correct server there. Good adjustment.
Beautiful.
That overhead had almost like a nice roll to it as she shaped it. It's a beautiful shot. A little too big there on that. That return stayed in somehow, really close, and nice point there for Josh.
Nice point, Josh. Oh, that was a great deep shot. Great deep return. We're seeing great deep returns by the Worthies. That's very important, and it's showing what a positive result you can get.
It sets everything else up right, just to keep the pressure on your opponents. And for any new watchers or new players out there, in this game in pickleball, the advantage goes to the receiving team, right, Lori? So the first two balls have to bounce. So that means that after the receiving team returns serve, the return team, the serving team essentially has to stay back. And so that deep return keeps your opponents back and allows you to join your partner up at the kitchen line and control the point from the onset.
Yes, absolutely critical to keep that back because the receivers are the first team to be able to attack.
Can sense a little bit of an inflection point here for Bridget and Josh. So Allison and Kyle probably having their first serious talk in a while in terms of some updates and frustration. So big opportunity here to take advantage, and they get their first point on that already. And Kyle says enough of that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Josh double checking he's the correct server. 3-4-2 is the count.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Oh my goodness, that is sick.
He holds up that paddle so nicely. You can't tell it's going that way. Hard to react.
4-3-1.
Nice hands by Bridget there. Going right up at Kyle.
You have 3. They have 4.
She has quick hands.
She does.
4-3-2.
I believe her and her women's partner got silver yesterday too at a 4-5-5-0 combined tournament. So definitely a wonderful player.
Great player.
Right out.
Great player. Such a big difference between playing women's and mixed, though. You have to really take a totally different role. This is a great...
4-1. Second server.
Ball's a little long there from Josh.
3-4-2.
Bridget hits it with some very unique shape. I wonder what her background in sports is, because her forehand is almost very, there's a bit of a top spin flick, but then she also strikes her backhand both high at what would you consider the chicken wing.
Yeah, her wrist action is very quick.
So getting a little info again. So Sophie, again on our sideline, and a wonderful addition to our production team, giving us the scoop. But an Olympic field hockey player is Bridget's background. So Lori, I don't know how much experience there, but I mean the way she controls the stick, her hand-eye, that might be obviously a major influence in the way she handles that paddle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The quickness and that the wrist flick, because I don't know if you know, in field hockey, there's two sides to the stick. There's a kind of a bubble side and a flat side, but you can only hit the ball with one side of the stick. So you have to turn the stick over. So that wrist action is huge, and I'm seeing that on her now. That really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense, which is why, honestly, I love pickleball so much, because there's no right way to play this game in terms of, you know, pure grips and, you know, stylistically the way you hit the ball. I think fundamentally, like, shot selection can be fairly uniform, right?
Yes.
But the way you do it is so open and diverse, and I think it's just so fun.
Yeah, I think the advantage to pickleball is the size of the paddle. As you get if you have a longer stick or a longer racket, then your technique becomes more important to have a certain type of technique, because by the time it gets out to the end of that stick or paddle, it makes a big difference. But in this sport, it's quickness, it's focus, and there are a lot of different ways you can go about it. That paddle really affords people to use some unique background and bring it into the game.
Yeah, inherent creativity into our game. It's awesome.
Oh, great move by Kyle.
Great step in. Josh looks like he's okay after a bit of a, I'm going to call it a tumble as much as a fall.
Yeah,
Just a little bit of off balance.
5-4-2.
Allison.
Side out. 4-5-1. Second server.
So a correction on Bridget. She is not a field hockey player. She was a basketball player.
We're going to leave everything that Lori said about that sport as essential for any player that has done that in transition. But Bridget is a phenomenal basketball player, which in itself, with your footwork and your body positioning, plays a big part. She may have other sports racket-wise that give her some unique wrist action, but for now, we will say that her hand-eye coordination and her foundational footwork really coming from an excellent basketball career. So all good.
I think also that, you know, the strength of your wrist in basketball is critical. It's your shot. It's your passing.
Mm-hmm. And she has a tennis background, so I mean, Lori, well-rounded athlete.
Overall athlete, great athlete.
4-5-1.
Looks like Kyle and Alice are going to unwind the stack here. Let's see how Bridget and Josh respond. Drop. And Kyle is on top of those balls in the middle right now. There is nothing surviving his poach's counters or anything in that middle.
Yeah, his radar is up there.
Wow.
Side out.
That takes some courage to let that ball go by. It was
Yeah,
close.
It was nearly identical to the last ball that landed just barely in on the serve. So
yeah, great eye.
5-4-1.
we're at 5-4-1, and this is quite a back and forth match here. I can tell you even from the booth here, the sun is starting to heat up on our players. It's a gorgeous day, very little wind, and couldn't honestly have better outdoor pickleball conditions from a wind and a visibility perspective.
Side out.
Continued stream of information on our players. So this is Josh Labuda's first 5-0 tournament, and he is according himself well as we look on and playing a really, really good match here between Kyle and Allison. So not sure how many matches him and Bridget have played together, but a very strong showing here early in this match.
Kyle's just so quick to get on top of that.
Yeah, Josh did a nice job of helping out Bridget and getting in, but Kyle, like you said, his hand's just too much.
Yeah.
Allison with a great
Wow.
setup. And Kyle puts away the work that she created for him. Great stuff.
6-4-1.
She keeps her focus. Beautiful. Oh, that was a great shot. Just out
Really
of
good
reach.
shot.
Just out of reach. I think she caught him leaning forward a little bit and a little surprised with that up ball.
6-4-2.
Beautiful backhand.
Oh, so good. Josh and Bridget are doing a phenomenal job staying in this and fighting. This is tight. This is only a 2-point game.
It's a great game.
Point. Change into court.
I like the way Josh is really, on those few dinks, he was getting down, being patient, not in a rush.
Yeah, and we're going into a timeout here, so we will. I think we're at 7-4, I believe, right before an end change. So good timeout by Josh and Bridget.
Oh, we must be at 8. We're on change of sides here. So we're playing outdoors. We change sides halfway through the game for a multitude of reasons, but mainly it can be the weather, it can be the sun, it can be the wind.
Yeah, and in this instance with this format, we're going to 15, so they're doing an end change at 8 simply because they're doing one game to 15 in this format as well. So everything Lori said, absolutely true. And this one, we just built it in for this particular round robin. 4-8-1 is our score.
Point.
A rare
All right.
mistake.
Maybe the change of side's going to give Bridget and Josh a little boost.
5-8-1.
Little,
Server.
little bit of wind pickup here.
5-8-2.
Kyle doing a nice job of stepping over and trying to keep the pressure on. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
what
wow.
a shot.
That was a great shot.
I hear you, Bridget. She's lamenting. She wanted to hit it. She thought it might be out, and pulling back on that, very difficult.
You have 5. 8-5-1.
That one sails wide.
Point. 9-5-1. Ball stands. Point. 10-5-1.
10-5-2.
Oh, that's a great drop.
Yeah. And even though we see this score at 11-5, not indicative of the quality of play we have in this match, nor would you have guessed that either. So the way this has been tight, as reported to us here on the side by Sophie, is Bridget and Josh have yet to win a match in this round robin, and Kyle and Allison are undefeated, yet the margins at any equalized level of play are so small that you may not have guessed that in just viewing this play. So Kyle and Allison have now, after I'd say at least 10 to 12 minutes here, have finally found a pattern that works. And so now it's Josh and Bridget's turn to adjust.
Yep, it's kind of a streaky game. It's interesting that way. But they're such great players that if you don't know the score, it just feels like a great game.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, it goes so fast and point by point, but I mean, most of Kyle and Allison's points have come here literally in the last 5 to 6 in a big run.
Yep.
And so the mental resiliency in your game, using your timeouts, trying to curb some of that momentum is so essential.
Yeah, I agree. Oh,
And that is just
great backhand by
just
Kyle.
too good.
Amazing angle, good power, great shot.
Kyle going for a little bit more on that, knowing the score is 5-14-2, now 6-14-2.
It's nice serve by Bridget. Nice
14-6-2. Kyle trying to pop, I shouldn't say speed it up there from a lower position. Josh and Bridget survive. Kyle going for a big serve there, trying to close out.
Bridget, great hands.
Really, really great job.
If you can see her position, she's low, she's balanced, she's got her paddle out in front. She is just ready for anything, and it showed. It was beautiful.
And I love the timeout Allison just took.
Yes.
So
great choice.
Kyle has had 3 straight extremely amped up points, and I think she's subtly trying to say calming down. So we're going to take a commercial break here, and we'll be right back at the action on Court 5.
My priority? Get moving. Doctor's orders. And since Priority Health worked with me to design a care plan that lets me try a bunch of workouts, I knew I'd eventually find the perfect fit.
At Priority Health, your priority is our priority.
That was great.
And we're back here at the Meijer State Games of Michigan. We're on Court 5. You are watching Allison and KyleW play Bridget Aguda and Josh Labutta.
Time in. 7-14-1.
And as you heard, we're at 7-14-1.
Point.
Wow.
They're bringing it. Bridget's bringing it. Here we go.
Sometimes when you're down and you effectively have what you would think nothing left to lose, you just all of a sudden relax and start going for your shots, right?
Absolutely.
8-14-1.
If you can bottle that up for the whole game, that would be the magic pill.
Yeah.
Second server.
And there is a bit of a pressure when you're that close to the end of the game and the other team starts to score a little bit. You start to second guess yourself and put a little pressure on.
Yeah, 100%.
8-14-2.
Yeah,
Side
nice,
out.
nice shot.
Absolutely.
She wasn't rattled.
Another opportunity here for Allison and Kyle to close out.
14-8-1.
Oh, she's so solid.
Man,
Second server.
I'll jokingly say, where were you, Kyle? I know, I was just joking. No, that was a great point.
it was a great point.
14-8-2.
Allison's great hands.
Point.
And that is an unfortunate way to end, but a wonderful match played by
Amazing.
Kyle, Allison, and Josh and Bridget.
Kyle and Allison.
Some great points.